Channel disclaimer. Hello to all fellow fans. You know the drill. If you haven't already, now is the time to pause this video and read the channel's disclaimer before viewing any of my work. Thank you kindly. Time to Die by Hipwell. Chapter 3. Too Much Talk. Marie Spellman was the best friend and double act to Jet. Complete opposites, but ultimately best friends. Marie was tall and beautiful, but had quirky flair to shock all. No verbal filter. This blunt honesty and humour was what Jet loved about her. No bullshit approach to everything. Sat across the kitchen table, brews made, smokes rolled, Jet began to tell Marie the events of what had actually been happening over the last 2 years. Although they spoke every day and saw each other twice a week, Jet had chosen to keep quiet about the 3 counts of murder. Until now. Holy shit, I can't believe you got away with it. That's mental, Jet, just mental. So let me get this straight. You killed the last no one misses or cares about. She was dying and wanted to die anyway. So you put her out of her misery. And you killed 2 inconsiderate assholes that deserved it. I don't have a problem with this somehow. You have to promise not to tell a soul. I mean it, Marie. You can't tell anyone about this. As if I'm going to tell anyone. This is madness. But I tell you what, if you want a proof, I'll keep quiet. I will go in on it with you. Eh? How is that possible? They're already dead. Nah, mate. I'm talking about you helped me bump someone off too. Sure you won't have a problem with it when I tell you who and why? She cackles at the thought. You remember Sandra Hall? Here's a quick rundown for you if you don't. Well, for one, she had a dog put to sleep because she couldn't get anyone to look after it. And 2, she's been pregnant 3 times and had all children taken off her. She's a drug addict and an alcoholic. And to top it all off, she's pregnant again. Sorry for the rant, but she's right royally pissed me off. What do you say? One more scumbag off the streets? You remember her now, right? Without thought or hesitation, the answer shocked Jet herself. That would take some serious planning, and at least a fresh brew. They laughed as though it was some episode of CSI they were watching and discussing. Marie clicks on the kettle. So let's do this. Me and you, we can make this work, I'm sure. She's an alcoholic. For a start, that makes life easier. She's always off her face too, so no one will bat an eyelid if she has a fatal accident. They laugh. Jet unsure as to whether or not Marie's serious. Something in her gut instinct tells her it was true. Let's get on to another subject. Have I told you what my mother's done? Again. The two go on into a long conversation, a 3-hour bitch fest about everyone and everything that's pissed them off that week. It's getting late. I best set off and walk home, Jet suggested. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I want to have a hot bath and sort my stuff out for work tomorrow. I shall message you in the morning for a brew and a smoke before I go. Okay then, darling. I'll talk to you soon. As Jet started down the street, she suddenly realized in the cold air that it had already gone dark. Reaching into her pockets and finding a pair of gloves, she shivered, putting them on. 3 streets down, music could be heard, blaring from a house party, yelling amongst singing and lights. There was definitely an argument of some sort on the street. As I got closer to the corner, I could see the small block of council flats, lit up like Blackpool illuminations, with disco lights and loud rap music. A voice comes from out of the dark. Oi, Jet, you coming up? The voice was none other than Sandra Hall. As if that wasn't freaky enough, she was inviting me to the party. It was then I saw the opportunity. Sandra standing there, in her 40s, hanging around with all the scumbag kids of the town, full on tracksuit, socks tucked into her trainers, hair scraped back from her dishevelled face. The years have not been kind to Sandra, but drink and drugs probably had a lot to do with that. She stood at the top of the 12 hard concrete steps, with concrete walls either side, courtesy of the council's best efforts to stop vandalism of what once would stood metal railings. Thinking of this, I realised I'd been walking forward and was now at the bottom step. Long time no see, Sandra slurred. All I could think about was those poor kids and her beautiful dog, the things that Marie had reminded me she had done. I reached the top step, Sandra looking heavily pregnant and ready to drop, yet highly intoxicated on whatever concoction the night holds. Previously, all her children had been born with problems and taken directly into social care. "Want a pill?" were the next words out of Sandra's mouth, and I saw red. A quick glance around told me that there was no one else around outside, and she was so close to the edge of the step, swaying left and right. "Well, you gonna party or what?" The question went unanswered as I pushed firm and hard in the base of her back. The pills flew everywhere. Sandra hit every step on the way down, smashing her head against the sides and controlling in a heap at the bottom, head bouncing one last time off the curb. "Sandra," I said quietly with no reply, heading down the steps to what was now forming a large pool of surrounding blood. I quickly checked for the pulse. She was gone, dead. Looking around again, hearing the noise of the party raging inside, I knew someone would come out soon. "Think, Jet, think!" With no apparent onlookers, I quietly walked away. I just headed home. The next morning, I awoke to my usual video call with Marie. She seemed very excitable. "Jet, have you seen the socials yet this morning?" "No, I've literally just woken up," she said, laughing. "I'm going to make a brew." "Before you do anything, get yourself online. Dude, Sandra's dead." Not able to contain herself, she squeaked a little. "Really? What happened?" I asked, knowing full well the answer. "She took a load of pills and fell down the flat stairs, silly cow. We don't have to do anything now." "We don't have to do anything. You're right there. But I already did," Jet said, winking at the camera. "No way. You didn't." "I did. One hard push, and I walked away. So simple, and no one will know any different bar us. So again, I repeat, do not tell anyone." "I won't, I pinky promise." They continued to discuss the details over a morning brew and a smoke. Jet constantly thinking how unbelievably easy this has all been, and how she still has no feelings or guilt or remorse. Jet turns to Marie on camera. "I think I'm going to jump off for a bit and clean the house now, hon." "Yeah, me too. And just think, while you have your tunes on, cleaning, you can be thinking about who's next." She cackled in a rather evil way. Maybe she was right. I had kind of got the taste for murder. There you have it, folks. Hope you enjoyed listening. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to my channel for all future videos and projects.